Uh-huh.
Okay, so to start off, I'm going to talk a little bit about color spaces and what they mean and the difference between them. To start off, we're going to look at, this is a color model that shows, it's not very accurate, I just kind of created it real quick, but it shows the available colors, or the color gamut, and this is lab color space. Lab was created to represent all the visible colors that the human eye can capture, but it's not reproducible by anything right now. Only in numbers. You can reproduce the numbers that equate to different values of lab, but there's no representation for those numbers. For instance, we have RGB, we have sRGB, which I'll show right now. sRGB was designed to capture all the colors that are visible by monitors, and it's kind of like all the general colors that are visible by most monitors. And as you can see, the color gamut is considerably smaller than lab. There's a ton of extra colors that are visible and are available in the lab color space that just aren't available in sRGB. They just don't exist. Conversely, we have an Adobe RGB, which I'm going to overlay on top. As you can see, the Adobe RGB is a lot larger than the sRGB. Usually, you would use sRGB color space if you're working on web or video. Because you'll get more consistent color in your output. But Adobe RGB is considered a working color space, and that's what you'd make sure you were in Adobe RGB whenever you're color correcting or working with the files, and then you would convert to an sRGB after the fact if you're working on a web or video project. I'm going to remove sRGB so you can see the CMYK color space, which is actually, it's about the same size as sRGB. It's a little bit smaller, but the available values are different. So I'm actually going to turn off Adobe RGB and turn on the sRGB, so you can see that there are colors that are available in CMYK that aren't available in sRGB, and there are colors in sRGB that aren't available in CMYK. So this isn't an accurate CMYK model. I just kind of created it real quick, but it kind of shows you a representation of the colors that are available. And the color gamut will change depending on your output, what your output is. Like for instance, there's different color standards. I'm going to go to the color settings real quick to show that under the CMYK section here, you have a lot of different outputs. If you're going to Japan, if you're printing in Japan, there's a couple of Japan settings. US, there's sheet fed, uncoded, coded, web uncoded. These will all have slightly different gamuts to them. But I created the CMYK model just to kind of show just kind of an estimate of what colors are available in the CMYK space. So as you can see, that Adobe RGB is a lot larger than both those spaces. That's why Adobe RGB is the working color space, and the CMYK and sRGB are the destination color space. There is one more. There's another color space another RGB color space that's new. It's relatively new. It was created a couple years ago. It's called ProPhoto, and I'm going to turn all these others off and then turn ProPhoto on. And you can see ProPhoto is even larger than the lab color space. The reason why we don't use ProPhoto is because it's so huge that you're going to see a lot of colors that just aren't reproducible by either a monitor or by press printing. So the shift in colors when converting to CMYK are going to be a lot greater if you're using ProPhoto. That, and ProPhoto isn't, right now it's not widely used through digital cameras, so a few of the high-end digital cameras will use the ProPhoto profile or color space, but you're still not getting all these colors, just because really all these colors aren't capturable. There's just no way to capture all these with the current devices that we have. So it's not a color space that we would use right now, but it's something to kind of keep in mind for the future. As you know, presses get better, and as monitors get better, it might be color space that we would end up using.